What is constant in all social movements of broad impact, particularly amongst leaders of the Black freedom movement and Black radicals, is adaptability to concisely portray the platform of the movement to masses of prospective supporters and to a large set of skeptics. In Angela Davis's autobiography, we come to understand how she balances complex political philosophy with direct grassroots organizing and action. In the case of Ella Baker, author Barbara Ransby depicts an activist that wrestles with the missionary savior mentality of her family and the more avant-garde Marxism that she grows to appreciate as an adult activist. In both of these cases, Davis and Baker consolidate complicated and multifaceted philosophical and political platforms into what are easily digestible and very convincing calls to action. It's in this sense that the Black freedom movement and a growing coalition of Black radicals are only as strong as their ability to effectively convey the platform upon which they act. While Baker and Davis alike were decidedly prolific orators and communicators and leaders, social movements throughout history have been aided by the blunt lyricism of politically conscious music. No medium is more effective than musical lyrics in consolidating the complexity of systemic inequity, inequalities, and issues into simple questions of our own humanity. While it be certainly useful and enlightening to examine the music of Baker and Davis's time, I'd like to consider more modern musical renditions that serve to illustrate how activists and social movements across time encounter similar struggles, crises, and changes. To do this most effectively, I'd like to analyze a set of 3 songs written, composed, and recorded by a single artist that span 3 key concepts discussed and dealt with by Baker during their own time. A multi-Grammy award-winning rapper and producer, Kendrick Lamar's lyricism has been touted as some of the most socially conscious poetry and text created in this century. Kendrick's orchestration and production is home to both intricate jazz sampling as well as grimy trap beats, a sound that has gained him both critical acclaim and general popularity. Now, let's begin by considering 3 of his most poignant compositions, beginning with the song entitled "The Blacker the Berry" from his record "To Pimp a Butterfly." In this track, Lamar seems to be caught between 2 consciousness, vaguely resembling Du Bois's double consciousness as he navigates a decided African pride and a seeming inability to reconcile his own past sins. Consider the following excerpt. There's a certain unbridled self-pride in these lyrics, yet as the song progresses, Lamar questions the genuine devotion to the culture he loves, considering his own sins. He becomes almost unable to divorce a love and pride of his own culture and appearance with the perceived trespassing that he begins to associate with those features. Angela Davis, in the perception of her afro, mirrors a similar double consciousness, as she views her hair as both a poignant symbol of Black pride, but also shudders at the idea of being solely defined by her own exteriority. For Black activists, demonstrating and exuding an unapologetic love of self has always been tempered by the longing to not be exclusively defined by appearance. In a second song entitled "High Power" with 3 Eyes, off of Lamar's album Section 80, he expounds upon themes of structuring social movements and the compatibility of seemingly rivaling ideals under one movement. In an interview with The Come Up Show, Lamar explained that High Power was a Los Angeles-based social cause and movement, where he defined the 3 Eyes to stand for heart, honor, and respect, a sort of name or nomenclature that captured the ways Lamar and his peers wanted to engage with each other in casual conversations in neighborhoods and other establishments. It was a sort of mutual accountability system. Yet in the song, he mentions leaders of Black radical groups and even discusses Black militancy to some extent. In describing Bobby Seale within the framework of High Power's respect, heart, and honor, Lamar seems to make the case that movements can be both radical and respectful, convicted and loving. In this way, Lamar comments on Baker and Davis's identity crisis between affluent savior-minded activism and radical calls for economic equity. Both can exist under a truly effective and diverse movement. In a similar vein, let us consider a third and final song, entitled "You Ain't Gotta Lie, Mama Said," also off of "To Pimp a Butterfly." In this track, Lamar preaches a genuine commitment to one's most honest self. On a more personal level, Baker and Davis shouldn't feel obligated to manipulate or finagle their leadership styles on the basis of the room that they're leading. We can consider the following lyrics for some substantiation. In a relatively colloquial sense, Lamar could easily be reassuring Baker or Davis that their leadership style will be embraced by anyone so long as it's genuine and true to their lived experiences and beliefs. When this is recognized, there's no stronger force that garners the respect of peers and those that you seek to lead. While any number of songs, artists, or selections of music could have been used to illustrate these realities, it's my belief that utilizing Kendrick Lamar in his modernity allows us to come to an understanding that social movements and leaders across eras will deal and continue to grapple with similar and fundamental questions. How is one to be a genuine leader? What is the best means to connect with the group you are trying to lead? In what ways can activists unapologetically exude cultural pride while not being defined by their appearance? These questions will continue to be asked amongst generations of activists to come, and musicians like Kendrick Lamar will continue to try to shed light, creative light, on those discussions.